If you're a neurodivergent business owner, getting visible is really difficult sometimes because we need to feel psychologically safe. We need neurological safety for us to be able to show up. So, as a neurodivergent business owner, most people will say it's about confidence, but it's really not about confidence. It's about feeling safe and secure enough to be able to show up for your audience. And there's also a bit of pathological demand avoidance there as well, because we're told you should show up. You have to show up for your business. You need to do reels, you need to create all the things, but you can't do that unless you feel psychologically safe. You need to feel grounded. So, my tips here, go out, get some fresh air. Do some lunges. Love a good lunge. Get yourself into a power pose. Think about the fact that actually you can do what you need to do to be able to show up for your business. This is my permission slip for you. You are not somebody who needs to be perfect. People think, oh, I have to be all rehearsed and I have to be really good at speaking to camera before I show up. That is absolutely not true. People want to see the raw, the unedited, the everyday life, the things where you mess up and you don't do it all perfectly. People don't want to see some person who is all polished and completely camera ready. Yes, I did do my eyelashes this morning, but look at my hair. It's all weird, different colours. I mean, like, it is kind of normally meant to be like that, but we're just showing up today. So this is all about you showing up as you. You need one message. Okay, so I talk about neurodivergence from a perspective of money, life, and business. All of those three things, they fall under the neurodivergent bracket. So if I'm showing up, I'm always talking about neurodivergence. We are not robots. So you can talk about things that are personal to you. You can talk about things that you think your audience are going to identify with. So, for example, this morning I did a video saying I fucking hate snow, because I really do. As a neurodivergent, snow is literally my fucking worst thing ever. But showing up doesn't mean you have to be polished. It doesn't mean you have to be confident. Like, if you go and have a look at my old TikToks, like, I've got two accounts. So I've got my Maddie Alexander Grout TikTok account and I've got my Mad About Money official one. If you go and have a look at my old videos on Maddie Alexander Grout, you will see that I was useless at content, like absolutely terrible. Visibility should be something, and I use should very lightly because I hate the word should, and I genuinely feel like it should go in the fuck it bucket. Ironically, should is a word that makes you feel like you have to do something. Should is a kind of do what everybody else is doing type of should. This is something which I think really trips people up. The fact that you think you should be posting content every day, that you think that you should have to post a TikTok every day, a reel every day. You don't have to do that. Consistency is what consistency means to you. So it could be that you post once a week, as long as you're consistent in doing that. Don't start doing 5 TikTok videos every single day, because that's going to trip you up, because you're not going to stay consistent. Work around your energy levels. Work around what works for your brain, what works for your body. I am somebody who is ADHD, autistic, dyslexic. I've got dyscalculia as well, which is, sort of like dyslexia, but with numbers. Dyspraxia. I am a walking disaster. Like, I'm the sort of person that walks past a door and every single time I will catch the pocket of my cardigan on it and I will bang my head on something. I open cupboards into my face. Do things that work for you, okay? You don't have to perform. You're not a monkey. You don't have to do things because you think other people will like it. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to show up as anybody other than yourself. If you remove these barriers of thinking that you have to be confident, thinking that you have to be perfect, thinking that you have to do things for other people, it really does give you that hidden confidence that you need to be able to show up. And that is what I do every day. I pick up my phone and I talk to it. I don't do retakes. If I fuck it up, then I fuck it up. And practice makes you better every day. Practice never makes perfect. Perfect, when it comes to content, especially if you're neurodivergent, is a complete myth. You don't need a new personality. You don't need to be somebody else. You just need to be you, because you is the thing that sells, okay? People will want to work with you because of who you are, not because of who you're trying to be. And fear-based marketing, people do things because they're scared. They do things because they think that they have to do things. You don't have to do that, Okay. Consistency is something that like the big gurus talk about. Like, stay consistent, stay consistent. You don't have to be anything special. All you have to do is show up every single day. That is not the case for people who are neurodivergent. People who are neurodivergent need a lot more hand holding. And this is why I created my program, Amplify Your Influence. I have trained hundreds of people on their visibility strategy to help them to get out there to start making more money. Because it is true, the more visible you are, the more people who know you, the more people who know what you're all about and what you sell, what your messaging is, those people will come to you. And they will come to you because you are you, not because you're trying to copy anybody else or trying to be something that you're not. So, visibility for neurodivergence isn't about being louder. It's not about being like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's about being more constructive with the things that you're talking about. It's about nailing your messaging. It's about knowing what things to sell. It's about having the confidence that actually you are an expert in your niche, but nobody has told you that because you're lacking that confidence because, do you know what, as a neurodivergent, you've been put down for most of your life, and that's really difficult. So we want to get you to a point where you don't feel like being visible is something that is really scary. I know, I get it more than most. There are so many people out there who are either waiting to watch you fail, or there are trolls. There are going to be people who disagree with you. Good. Because if you're being you and you're showing up as the person who you are meant to be, then those trolls, they've not got a leg to stand on. Because if you're standing by your values and you're talking about things that you believe in, if people don't like you, great. We're not put on this planet for everybody to like us at all. There are lots of people that don't like me, and I'm so fine with that. Because when you're being authentic, when you're being you, when you're showing up and you're being visible, and by the way, visibility isn't just social media, visibility is a whole strength of different things. It's about communication, it's about networking, it's about collaborations, it's about speaking. Don't panic, I'm not going to make you speak on a stage just yet, but if we can get you to a point where you actually are brave enough to speak to the press or speak on a public stage, that is amazing. Okay. And confidence comes when you know what you're talking about. And half of the time, when you're neurodivergent, actually, it's a confusion between you and your audience. It's a mixed message. So in my program, Amplify Your Influence, I help you to find that message so that you can go out there confidently talking about the thing that you are good at so that you can make more sales. We also talk about the strategy behind sales, the strategy behind your business, and all of the things that go into that. It's not just about, hey, be more confident, show up more on social media. So social media is like, it can be scary, like the technical parts of it, like how do I actually post a reel? How do I do this? How do I do that? So all of those things are things that I teach in my world. So if you've come across me recently, I'm not just Maddie the money specialist. Like, I started my career out as a money specialist, and then when I got diagnosed with ADHD and autism, which was nearly 5 years ago now, I wrote a book called Mad About Money, which is now a bestseller, and it has been promoted on Zoe Ball's podcast, Dig It, which is amazing. It's also been held in the hands of people like Kerry Katona, Sean Keaveney. There are lots of people who are famous who have read my book, who have enjoyed my book. So yes, it's about money, but it is very much a book about neurodiversity and how to understand your brain. And when you understand your brain, you can do amazing things, including being visible. So if being visible is something that is on your radar for 2026, give me a follow. Come and check out my social media account. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, Maddie Talks Money, Mad About Money Official. If you want to look at my crap ones, it's Maddie Alexander Grout. And I keep them there to remind myself that I used to be shit at doing content. I have never, ever been perfect. And I get it wrong still sometimes. You know, I am somebody who owns my mistakes. You can be somebody who is the expert in your niche, but you just need to know how. And I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's really not. It's taken me years and years of practice to get to a point where I can talk confidently without having to look at a script or an auto cue or any of those types of things. And I teach people how to utilize their social media, how to get in the press, how to be visible, all of these things, but in a way that works for your brain. Because there are loads of visibility strategists out there. There are loads of people who will help you to get visible. But one of the main things they're going to teach you is show up consistently. They're going to be like, forget confidence, just show up. Like, and that is really hard. So I teach you how to get that emotional safety, how to find your values, how to actually think about what you're talking about when you show up. Because we don't have a lack of ideas as neurodivergents. We have way too many of them. And sometimes it's just about like processing all of those and working out the best way for you to show up. So yeah, that's me. Happy New Year, by the way, everybody. And if you're not following me already, it's Maddie Alexander Grout. And yeah. By the way, the podcast is back soon as well. So I talk about, on my podcast, it's called Mad About with Maddie Alexander Grout. And I talk about ADHD, money, business, and visibility. Also about life, it's, there are a mixture of sort of business episodes, there are a mixture of money episodes, life episodes. Just go and have a look. If you're thinking about starting a business as well, this could be something that would help you. Ideally, it'd be good for you to have an idea, because like I don't help you to come up with the idea, I just help you to formulate what you've already got in your brain. So yeah, anyway, my first actual YouTube video, which is not a not a podcast episode. Anyway, yeah, over and out from me. I'll see you again soon. Lots of love.